I've seen enough shonen manga to know that this Trinity attack is not gonna work. No, it's not happening, because, look, let me just explain the reason why. Number one, it's obvious that Mel just got a huge upgrade in power. Like, he is nowhere near what he once was. Like, his power level is like over 200,000, okay? It's ridiculous. It's high. And also, when a manga, not just shonen, but when a manga ends a chapter on like a decisive attack like the Trinity attack we have with Galther, King, and Diane, typically it doesn't work. And the reason why, it's to showcase the threat and power of the villain's transformation, because obviously we really haven't got to see his durability, how strong he is, what he can handle, and since we now know his level is ridiculous, like way above just regular assault mode Meliodas we saw in the past versus Escanor, we know that this attack is just not going to work, because right now, there's just no way King, Diane, and all them are near that. Only person I could say that could officially kind of be near that level would be someone like, you know, Elizabeth. But like I said, she's not really a physical fighter, she's just a healer, so that makes sense. But I believe that it's very obvious that the attack they're using, probably what's going to happen, that's going to go flying at Mel. He's either going to block it, dodge it, he's going to get hit, smoke's going to clear, he's going to be completely fine, he's going to counterattack them, they're going to get wrecked, they're going to hit the ground, and obviously someone's going to have to come in and save the day. The question is, who's going to come in? Because that's just a matter of time. We have 3 potential possibilities for who could come in and save the day. We have the original Meliodas. I'm talking about the one that is evil Meliodas, the one that, you know, is absorbing the commandments, the 5 commandments. You know, that Meliodas could pop up because it would make sense. I mean, right now, you have it to where Mel is at a level to where Assault Mode Meliodas is probably necessary just to take this man down. Like, right now, if Meliodas really absorbs all 5 commandments, and we factor in what his power level was at Assault Mode, when it was like 142,000, then yeah, he's probably the only one that could actually put up a fight against Mel at this moment. Even Escanor, the 1 mode, I don't think is potentially enough to bring this man down. So that goes into the second option. See, if Assault Mode Meliodas, that has the 5 commands within him, doesn't pop up, like if it's not ready for him, then that means Escanor needs to step up to the plate. We know it's only a matter of time until he has to fight Mel. Because, look, a long time ago, Estarossa versus Escanor, that was a big, just smackdown, it was a hyped up fight, but at the same time, now knowing the truth about Estarossa's past, and now knowing he's Mel, he was once, you know, an Archangel, he had, you know, Sunshine once upon a time, then obviously, if he gets his grace, then he's going to be even stronger than he was, or, you know, in the past. And I mean, that's a potential possibility, since now he's, like, you know, going back and forth between light and darkness. He might be able to absorb a grace from, like, an Archangel. For instance, if he takes it from Escanor. So Escanor popping back up, it's a potential possibility for a rematch. But we know this is bound to happen, just to show that Mel is just way stronger than Escanor. And also, we know that Escanor does have his 1 mode, the 1 mode, and it's been established that his 1 mode is pretty much invincible. He's like the incarnation of power itself, but even then, though, at the end of the day, this is a shonen, and most likely to kind of hype up this final villain that is Mel, Escanor probably needs to fall to be, you know, the jobber to hype up Mel. I could see something like that happening. Now, like I said, I don't want to see that happen to my boy Escanor. Love my boy Escanor. He's one of my favorite characters. He hypes me up every time I see him in the manga. But at the same time, though, it would be interesting if that does happen, just to build up the power of Mel for the final fight of the series. Now, if it's not Escanor that pops up, then it's probably Bond and Emotion Meliodas, or Good Meliodas that's in Purgatory. Let me explain the reason why this would make sense. Remember what I said about 5 or so chapters ago? You remember when everybody woke up and realized the existence of Mel, and everybody was kind of like having headaches and stuff, and they're like, ow, and all that, like they were getting hurt? Well, that probably was happening to the Demon King as well. Everyone throughout the entire world that did remember Mel probably when they, forgot about Estarossa and remembered who he really was, it probably gave them a sharp headache. And knowing the Demon King, that probably happened, or he got, like, a headache, and Bon and Meliodas might have been able to slip past him and come back into the real world. I talked about this already. That's a potential possibility. That's the only way I could see how they could get around him, and it would actually make sense. And so in this case, Bon, that's been, like, over 3,000 plus years in Purgatory, he's obviously gotten hella strong. And I could definitely see him probably putting up a decent fight against Mel, because, I mean, even if he might not be able to compete power-wise, he might be able to be durable enough to stand up against the man and hold him back for a long time, until eventually Assault Mode 5 Commandment Meliodas can pop up and do something against him. Something like that. So I do believe those are the 3 possible options for where the story can go in the next chapter, because, like I said, let's be real, King, Diane, and Gowther's attack is not going to work. I truly doubt it is. Now, there is something I do want to point out. Besides the design, which I'll get into, I love that design, there is some form of weakness that was showcased in this chapter, and you can easily miss it. It's an easily missed, like, segment of the chapter. When he uses the light ball of love, that's what Mel uses. He attacks, Diane and Gowther and everybody, and he kind of puts them unconscious, and thankfully Gowther saves them. He uses that attack, and if you notice, Nakaba-sensei does an extreme close-up on the mask that is on Mel's face, and the commandment symbol of love starts to fade, and it enters into the love ball. And when it enters the love ball, he shoots it at them, and then later on, like a page or 2 later, you see where the symbol starts to fade back on his mask, which I think represents a cooldown time. That means that Mel, either A, he hasn't fully merged with all the commandments, which means that, it's kind of, finicky, to where every time he uses an attack with the commandment, it takes a little bit for him to be able to use that attack once again. Like I said, cooldown timer. That's what it looks like to me, especially with the symbol popping up back on his mask after using it. That means that there might be like a 30-second delay to a minute delay until he can use it again, which is ample enough time to attack the man while they're down. Like, if they can force him to use all of the 4 commandments at once, then if they could somehow survive it, they could actually attack him because his guard would be completely open. And I don't know exactly how Mel's state of mind is right now. I mean, when we think about how he was before he transformed into this, he was kind of unhinged. He was crazy, wanting power and all that. So we don't really know necessarily how his mind, his psyche is right now, because we didn't even get to hear him talk in this chapter. So, I mean, if he's kind of like berserking and all that, they could easily outsmart him and make him use all his commandments and then be able to attack him. Now, that would make sense if that's where Nakaba's going to take it, if, the 3 individuals that I talked about do not pop up. So Diane, she pops up. I'm glad to see her there, because honestly, I was going to be upset if she didn't participate in the battle, even though she doesn't have the strength to fight someone like this. I mean, King doesn't either or anything, or Gowther. I mean, Gowther does have his broken attacks that can, mess with your spirit and mind, but none of them really can compete with someone like Mel right now. He's just way too strong. I mean, if Sarantar can't do anything, these individuals, they can't do anything at all. But still, I like seeing Diane back in the fray with King, Elizabeth, and Gowther, because it lets us know that their character development or their training didn't go completely to waste. I mean, I'm glad to see them at the very least putting up a fight or stalling for the final battle with Mel. Now, let's talk about Elizabeth. Now, Elizabeth, she made me a little bit happy with this chapter. I was a little bit disappointed with her in the last chapter. I talked about that extensively towards the end of the video, that I was upset that she was just sitting there and she didn't heal King, Diane, or anyone. She wasn't healing anyone, okay? I mean, Diane wasn't there, but, she wasn't healing anyone. But in this chapter, she does heal everybody kind of multiple times, which makes me kind of happy. Which also, there is something I want to point out. Even though Elizabeth was helping out, Mel did attack her, by the way. He did attack her and put her unconscious. You can even see it in the chapter when she's slowly passing out. Which makes me wonder, does he not care about Elizabeth anymore? That is something that did happen in the chapter. I mean, does he even have his mind anymore? Is his mind even there? And is that the reason why he attacked Elizabeth? Because we know that regardless of how he was once Estarossa and now Mel, he does love Elizabeth, okay? That's still there. That emotion he has is still there. So, I wonder if he doesn't care about Elizabeth anymore. A lot of questions I have. So let's talk about the design of Mel. The design, love the 6 wings, love the half and half type look going on with like the light and darkness. Big fan of stuff like that. And I've already told you guys that I love like fallen angels. I've always loved that type of stuff in mythology or stories. I mean, call it a cliche, call it, stupid, call it something that's not worthy of praising. I love fallen angels. It's really cool. I've always loved the designs of it. I've always loved the stories behind them and all that. And just seeing how Mel pretty much represents a fallen angel, it's pretty freaking cool. But I especially love how Mel's new design is. Like, he has, like, the demon horns coming out. You see his hair behind the mask, like, a little bit longer. And you see how, this robe that he has on looks like some form of, like, I guess, angel-type look going on or something. But then you can see the demonic, like, features a part of the attire, like, towards the sides or edges of the outfit. I really love just the style or the design of Mel's look. And honestly, if he really is the final villain, you need to make the final villain look pretty freaking epic. And gotta admit, Nakaba-sensei is doing really good in that department, making this man look really menacing, making him just have a really nice design to where you're like, holy crap, like, yeah, this definitely looks like a final boss. But yeah, that's pretty much about it when it comes to this chapter of Taizai. So let me know your thoughts. How do you feel about this week's chapter? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Be honest in the comments below. How do you feel about it? Be honest. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. Because for some reason, even if you click the subscribe button, you don't always get notified. So if you want to get notified, click that bell icon down below. And with that, I love you guys. Chibi out.